All right, we're gonna cut right to the chase. I know what you guys wanna hear. We're gonna talk about throwing for distance. When you show up to that first tee and you're playing some of your first rounds of disc golf, you've got some of the basics down. Now you wanna learn some new techniques to try to throw the disc as far and as accurately as you can. When I talk about grip, I like to mention the fact that everyone's hands are different sizes. So though there are two main types of grips, they can look slightly different for every individual player. So don't be too worried about trying to copy someone's grip exactly. It's likely that the way your hand interfaces with the disc might be a little bit different than somebody else or even a professional that you follow. The two main grip types are the power grip and the fan grip. The power grip, as you would expect, is often used to try to get as much speed and spin onto the disc as possible. That's done by kind of almost shaking hands with the disc, putting it into the middle of your palm, and then wrapping 4 fingers underneath pretty tightly. For me, I like my thumb position to be about halfway in between the extremes of where I could possibly put my thumb. But it's all about comfort here. So make sure you're comfortable with your grip, it's not hurting your hand, and you wanna squeeze tightly enough when you're throwing that nobody could come up to you and steal it from you without you having a little tug of war about it. So you need to have a firm but not overly tight grip. So that's the power grip, 4 fingers locked in. That's gonna generate as much spin and speed as possible. When you're moving to the fan grip, you're looking at more of a touch shot, a little bit shorter shot. For me, the main element of the fan grip, for me personally, is the pinch between my thumb and my middle finger on the flight plate, the flat part in the middle of the disc. So I'm gonna wrap my hand in similarly, but instead of curling all the fingers under, I'm gonna stick this one out and squeeze between my thumb and my finger underneath the disc. What this does is creates a looser overall grip. So a slower swing speed is still gonna allow the disc to eject out of my hand, and it's gonna allow me to have a more consistent straight release at a slower speed than I would if I was really gripping into the disc but trying to throw softly. So it lets you kind of back off your power and gain a little more control. Those are the two grips I would recommend working with. Again, power and fan. So what we're gonna show you right now is some footwork that you can use to help you throw the disc as far as possible. The most common footwork that's used with the backhand throw for distance is called the X step. My first step of the X step, I'm gonna kind of distill this down into a 4-step maneuver. On the course, maybe you're gonna have some build-up steps, but for the sake of simplicity, we're gonna treat it as 4. My first step would be with my left, just kind of moving forward and starting to generate some speed. My second step, across with my right. Now I'm starting to turn sideways. My third step, and this is why we call it the X step, left foot crossing behind. And that's allowing the hips to go from initially forward to now back. And that's the loading part that I'm talking about. The fourth step is bringing this plant foot out ahead of me, landing on the toe with these hips back and loaded. Now I'm looking to get that nice long reach back. This is all sort of happening at the same time in real time, where I'm coming through and swinging my arm up into position here. I want that nice long reach back. I want the plant on the toe. I want the hips back. The first exertion is in the low body. I want to feel my knees twitching towards the target via my hips, kind of like this. And I want you to notice that the first 2 to 3 inches of travel in my shoulder is lower body generated. And then after that, it's a very quick thing, but after that, I'm starting that elbow drive, where I'm trying to keep my elbow in tight to my body, where the arm makes the 90, pulling through where you're powerful, straight towards the target. You don't want to be lower or higher than that. You don't want to be far away from your body. You want to be right in here tight where you feel explosive and powerful to be able to pull through the shot. You want to be loose. You want to have an even cadence as you're walking up through all this stuff, not being in a hurry, and you really want to be loose again in the follow through. When you get to that loaded position we're talking about, I want you to pin your chin to your throwing shoulder, keeping your target just barely blurry in the corner of your eye. So I don't really want to see this on the disc golf course. I think that contributes to a lack in accuracy and a few more shanked shots. Try to stay here, give up a little distance for accuracy. Your follow through should also be smooth, really important. And I think the way to know that you're doing a really nice complete follow through, you go from chin pinned on right shoulder through the swing to chin pinned on left shoulder. And that lets you know that you have a nice big safe follow through for your joints, and also that you're not robbing yourself of distance by stopping your own momentum with any kind of foot drag. That's a really common mistake that I see from beginning players.